All right, so configuring points, inputs in your system. RPS to be done from the points menu, point assignments. First of all, the panel has 8 onboard points. That's the first ones you see. The first column is the point source. If we're adding other points to the system, you got to specify the source you're using to do that. Points 1 through 8 are grayed out onboard, so that where they have to be. Earlier I mentioned before you apply power to the panel, one thing it's looking for is a keypad to address 1. Make sure you connect that. Also, the onboard points are active out of the box as well. So ideally, they're the resistors that came with the panel. You want to put on the onboard points if you're not using them, just to prevent any of those points from showing faulted or triggering an alarms. To disable those onboard points, if you lost the resistor or just wasn't being used for anything, didn't want to show up anywhere, all you do is set the profile to a 0. 0.1, if I were to set the profile to 0, that'll disable the point. Wouldn't look for the resistor there anymore. So in case I could steal the resistor if I needed it for another point. 1K resistor is what it uses by default. But we'll show you how to add in a point with an octo input module. Now, with this module, whatever its address is going to determine the point numbers it works with. And some other systems, you already have a keypad at address 1. You can't have anything else at address 1. Not the case with our panels. Unlike devices can have the same address number, and there's no conflict. But yeah, the address number is going to determine the point numbers it uses. This would be documented in the paperwork that comes with that octo input module. And you can also find it in here. The first one out of the box would be set to address 1. So we wanted to make sure we knew what points it would use. Your B208 octo input switch settings, click on it and hit F1. I don't know why, I guess I've never noticed this help menus like this with the B series panel.
I'm going to go back and insert whatever. Yeah. Like I'm noting this as we go.
Even if I search it, it just all blank.
I'll fix this later.
But we can see here that octo input module set to address 1 will use points 11 through 18. Next one you had set to address 2, use points 21 through 28. So using the octo input module, you're skipping all the point numbers that end in 9 and 0. Not going to work for those points. Reason being, if you were to look at that octo input module, below the terminals, they're all labeled 1 through 8. So it just makes it a lot easier if the point number ends that way. Yeah, I'll just put this up here. This is what our octo input module looks like. And again, just makes it easier. You see the number below the terminal there. That's how the point number is going to end. And then you just look at the ones dial. Whatever the ones dial is set to, that's the first digit of the point number. All right, so out of the box, you'll have 10s to a 0, ones dial to a 1. So that's going to be 0.11, 0.12, 13, all the way to 0.18. If we had this set to address 2, ones dial to a 2, that's going to use points 21, 22, all the way to 28. So that's the easiest way to think about it. Point numbers always end 1 through 8, just like you see on the board. Look at the ones dial. Whatever the ones dial is set to, that's the first digit of the point number. Now, it may get a little more tricky when you start to use the tens dial. That's when you're getting over 100 points. What you can do is you can look at the tens dial, look at the ones dial, and then the number below the terminal. So if the tens was to a 1, you're in the 0.100 range. And the ones was to a 3, that's 130. That'd be 0.131, 132, all the way to 138. Now, the B series panel we're working on has a max of 96 points. So address 9 is the biggest it could be on this panel, and that would give you access to points 91 through 96. Now, the module I have is set to address 1, so I'll use points 11 through 18. Now, something that's helpful, if I were to click where it says unassigned for 0.9 or 10, this is called the octo input module. you'll see it's grayed out for any points that end in 9 or 0. Not going to let you mess that up.